Madhouse bar talk, where the drinks stay spittin'. Views going wild like a monkey gone rogue, running his own lane in a circus of smoke. Tito hit the eject, dipped out the scene. Jimmy steered the chaos, kept it lean and mean. No co-pilot needed. He thrives in the clash. Controversies, the stash. Raking views with a dash. Madness on the mic, sipping truth like it's gin. Every episode's a fight. Who's the champ of the spin? Randoms on the stool, spill tales from the void. Jimmy plays the villain, but the people stay buoyed. Solo flight, no wingman, just the heat. Questions unscripted, got him squirm in the seat. Joe Rogan whispers, but Jimmy got roar. Clickbait machetes hacking straight to the core.
Good morning. Madhouse Bar Talks, September 30th, the end of September. It's over, man. The month is over. And summer's over. And it's time to start thinking about Halloween and trick or treat and all those things. We scheduled our Halloween party. We did do that. We scheduled it for the 25th, I believe. Let me look at that real quick. I think that's what it is. October 25th. Yeah, it's a Saturday. Got the DJ set up. We're ready to go. Going to do best overall, funniest, sexiest, like we always do with the costumes. And should be a good time. Oh, it usually is. But I'm just getting a quick podcast. It's been a while since I did one. I've got an interview coming up Thursday. And we're going to do, on Thursday, we'll do an interview with Jacqueline Bradley. She's a musician, a therapist, traveled the world. Very interesting person, I believe. I think it'll be fun to do the interview with her. But there's a lot going on this week, so I wanted to get... My wife's been gone. Her brother's having some medical issues that nobody can figure out, so she went down to Florida to see him. And she comes back today, so I've been kind of holding it down, while she's gone, taking Dylan to school and feeding the boy and all that good stuff. But, yeah, Dylan has a football game tonight. My daughter gets married Saturday, so that's a big, it's just a lot. There's a lot going on. We're going to have a lot going on this week, and we'll get that interview in. So just wanted to get on here. It's a crazy weekend, man. I'll tell you what, the world is it's a freaky, this is crazy what's going on at this point. I mean, how do you deal with that shit? This weekend, literally, you could have been at church and got shot. You could have been at a bar and got shot. An oceanfront bar, like sitting on the deck listening to music. Boat pulls up and shoots at you. Like, that's insane. Casino in Texas. That's all this weekend. Like, it's like no matter where you could be, there could be somebody show up and just shoot you. And it's just crazy. And everybody wants to worry about, well, what political affiliation is he with? The one that's shooting. It's like the crazy one. He's the crazy. He's part of the crazy affiliation. I think it's just an extremist, period. They said that the one at the church, I saw an interview with a guy who was going door to door campaigning. And he was talking with the guy that actually shot up the church. And he said he seemed nice, real calm. But he said somehow the conversation got to religion, and he started talking about, that the Latter-day Saints are the Antichrist. And he's like, okay, all right, and just kind of dipped out. But he said he wasn't like hyper about it. You know what I mean? But Jesus Christ, that guy comes in, it looks like he had IEDs. He's freaking burning the place down, shooting at people, driving the truck in it. Like, he's just like a one-man assault on everything. And then the boat, in South Carolina or North Carolina, pulling up. A boat? Jesus Christ. This is like where you're having your peace, and this is where you go to relax. You sit on a balcony on the water, kind of like reminds me, for around here, like at Quaker Steak or Trent's Place, and you're just on the water relaxing, and a center council pulls up and just starts firing at everybody. Like, what the hell is that? And then the guy like took off and he was trying to trailer his boat back. He's trying to put it back on the trailer when they freaking caught him. Like, really, dude? You thought you had enough time to like shoot the place up and then just go trailer it, and then you got to drive it with the on the trailer. Like, what is the matter with people? It just, I mean, at least like I just that was like he was going to get away. He thought. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this whole Charlie Kirk thing where the kid got out, you know, and got off for a little bit. I mean, he wasn't gone very long, but if that's even him, I don't know. Candace Owens is, she's not thinking it is. Candace Owens is on her shit, boy. Woof. Man, is she going nuts. She's just all over it. And I mean, I don't even know, like she lost me with the Brigitte Macron stuff. Like she just wouldn't stop laying it, wouldn't lay off of it. And now she's got something else to like sink her teeth into. And she sunk them in. She sunk them in deep. And I feel bad. Like, I don't know. I mean, if she's right, she's right. Well, I mean, but if she's wrong, Jesus, to put everybody through all that, and it just, if she's wrong, I'm not saying if she's right. If she's right, she's right. I mean, if she's right, that's, you know, and then she feels she's right. I mean, there's a couple times that she's been to where it seemed like she was extreme, and then it turns out it's like, oh yeah, oh never mind. She was telling it exactly how it happened. So I don't know, but she's kind of getting nuts. It's kind of stressing me out. Only because it's so public. You know what I mean? If it was not as public as it is, like, you know what I mean? If it was like she was searching that in private or whatever, but this is like out on, like everybody can see it. Like, it's just like, man, I get it. Like, it, you know, that's what you do and everything else, but it's like, man, you got people trying to like mourn this whole thing. And it was just, the whole Charlie Kirk thing was just, it's just tough as a whole, because it's just somebody who's talking, supports free speech, supports the right to bear arms, and all these different things. And yet, you know, now we're all, you know, seeing them die just for that, just for supporting American values, like, which is just absurd to me. And then it's, you know, it's a left-right thing. Everybody wants to know, is it left, right? They're freaking nuts. That's just, if anybody's like murdering anybody, it doesn't matter what political affiliation, they're not right in their head. I mean, it's just the way it is. They're just not right in their head. Some people, you know, argue that the transgenders have a medical condition and aren't right in their head to some degree. And you know what? I don't know how I feel about that. I do know that when they push it when you're young, I worry that when they're pushing it when you're young, and say you're lost or confused or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden there's this answer where, like, you know, you could go do this, and it's not to say it's per se okay, but like you're part of a group of people that go along with it, and everybody's telling you it's okay to do, and you can choose, and gender is fluid, which I don't know who in the hell it's like I mean, gender is fluid that's just insanity. Gender is what it is. And everybody just is like, oh, well, you're not educated. It's like, I don't think I want that kind of education. I mean, gender is not fluid. I mean, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. It's pretty much that simple. It's not, there's no fluidity to that. But, you know, they want to convince you that you're crazy if you say something like that, which is just logic, like straight logic, the way it's always been. And it's, nobody can say, oh, well, that's not true. It's like, oh yeah, it's not true. I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's not fluid. But I mean, that's a whole nother issue, or whatever you want to call it. You know, that's neither here nor there. I mean, you know, like this church murder was definitely not, you know, he definitely was not transgender. He probably wasn't on the left. He had American flags, ex-military, kind of seems like he's leaning right is the way it seems. And then with that guy that came in, he's saying that like he was said that he was a politician that was going door to door, said that they were the Antichrist, which, I mean, I don't even understand the whole Latter-day Saints church. I mean, it's like, from what I understand with it, and I don't know a whole lot, so everybody, I'm sure you're all going to tell me how wrong I am about it, and that's fine. You can tell me, and I'm okay with that. But from what I understand is basically they believe that you can have another prophet. Like prophets can still exist today, and they believe that what is his name, Joseph Smith or John Smith or something, Joseph Smith, I forget what his name is, wrote a whole nother book of the Bible, and they believe that book is through God, through this, Joseph Smith or whatever his name is, or Johnson. I think it's Joseph, but they believe, so they have like the same, I think it's the same Bible. They just have a whole nother book, like just one more chapter to the book of the Bible, which is kind of odd, but I mean, you can't argue with that. It kind of makes sense. Like you would think like if you could have a prophet, you could have it at any given time, I would imagine, but who decided that guy was the prophet, and who decided, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess the answer would be God if that's your church. But I don't understand where anybody would call him Antichrist. I mean, they're still running on the same Bible. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And it's also too, like, cause that's becomes like, that's the Mormon belief too. And then that's when like all of a sudden Christians only with Mormons is when they have multiple wives or whatever, but then other religions had multiple wives already. And the whole thing just like, I don't know, blows my mind. It's just weird to me. But either way, I don't know why that wouldn't make some guy who looked like a family guy look like a fun guy. A lot of the pictures they showed of him, he's like laughing, smiling real big. Didn't look like a miserable guy at all. I mean, a lot of the times when you see some of the other people, like the one that was shot up the Southport in North Carolina, that guy that was on the boat, his pictures looked like he wasn't very happy I mean, he just looked like he was kind of miserable for some reason. But it makes me wonder what happened, because they said the police wanted to talk to anybody that was there on Saturday night, but then they also wanted to talk to anybody that was Friday night. So it makes you wonder, did something happen Friday night where he's like, okay, motherfuckers, like so weird. But then I'm looking at his page and it freaks me out, because I go looking at his page and it's like he's got all these, like he sends letters to the courts, like trying to sue the court. Like, whoa, wait a minute. That looks all too familiar to me. I'm like, that's kind of scary. But I mean, he's the same thing, just goes to where everybody's just having a good time. Like, and not like a club scene or anything. They're like literally just sitting out on a deck, enjoying music on a Saturday night, Oceanside. I mean, just unbelievable that happened. I mean, it's just, I mean, that's your peace, your love. You're like, that's like where you get out and relax. Like you worked hard all week, and, it's the weekends come and, you and your wife, maybe you have a sitter, you're sitting on the lake and the river and just enjoying yourself. And a boat comes by, you're like, oh, look, that's a nice center console. That's a nice, this or that. And you're just looking at, oh man, maybe we should get a boat, or maybe you have a boat, or remember when I had that boat or had a boat like that, or, you're just relaxing. You're just having a good time. And then some dumb fuck just like pulls out a gun and starts shooting. Like, what the hell? And it's I don't even know. And I haven't heard of any kind of motive for that one whatsoever. Then there was a casino in Texas that somebody came in there shooting up. I mean, I don't know what that was. I'm assuming he lost some money there. I'm guessing, just to guess. Might be a bad guess, but sounds like it. But I mean, it's constant. It's like they say that the crime is down now compared to the 90s, like because the gang violence and stuff that was going on in the 90s where they're driving by and just firing at houses and stuff like that, which, okay, fair enough. Maybe that is down, but man, this is getting out of hand. And it's something. And I mean, you have to point at two things. You have to point at either social media or antidepressants of some sort or something, because we know antidepressants are something that, like 90 on really kind of hit the market as a big deal. Like they started, I remember in the 90s, that was like everybody started going on to Prozac was the big one back then. And I feel like everybody's on them now, which I've never been on them myself personally. My mother was giving them when she worked at Lorraine Products years ago, and she goes, I didn't give a shit about anything. I didn't care if I lost my job. I didn't give a shit about nothing. So that's why she got off of them. She's like, I don't give a shit about anything. Like, and she wanted beer, which my mom's not a drinker. She would get off work and want a beer. And she's like, I'm not even a drinker. Why is this all of a sudden a thing? So she just got off of them. But that's what she said. And that's the only thing I know about them. I really don't know much else about them. Most people that are on them like to tell you that, oh no, they help me. And I know it also has to do with your youth or whatever. I'm not saying I'm not blaming them. Just saying it's the two things that have really changed is social media and that since the 90s. I mean, or since the 80s. And in the 80s, you just didn't see things like this. I mean, churches and stuff, like, they were just who they were. I mean, it's okay. So like if you're gay, a perfect example would be Charlie Kirk. In the 80s, you were gay and you knew that the church didn't approve, but you had no hatred towards the church. You were just doing something that, you were doing just because. And there was no hatred at the church for doing that, where now there is. But the church isn't hating you for being gay. I mean, in fact, there's a lot of Christian churches that accept gay people into their churches. If I remember right, I thought that the one preacher or a priest, whatever it was, that was talking at the one of Trump's things was a gay woman, or at least she looked like a gay woman. Although if you're a priest, you're not supposed to have sex, so it doesn't matter if you're gay or not. You're just not supposed to have sex, right? So you can't be gay and being a priest. Theoretically, I mean, I'm putting up air quotes for that one because, I mean, but you're not supposed to. They're supposed to be in a vow of celibacy, and you can't be celibate and gay, I wouldn't think. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but I know that this is a crazy time in this country because it's scary. It is like literally like you never know what's going to come. I mean, you don't know what you have no idea. You have no idea. It could be at any given time, whether you're sitting in a casino having fun, whether you're sitting at church on Sunday morning. That's crazy. And we had all three happen in one weekend: church, casino, and bar, all in one weekend. In fact, all within probably 12 hours of each other. And that's just one weekend. I mean, we got to do better as a country. And I don't know where it comes from. Like, I don't know how to fix it, I should say. I think it comes from antidepressants and social media. And some of the teaching, I mean, they shouldn't be, I don't feel that it's okay for them to teach. Like, my teachers never talked to me about my sexual preferences. And let's face it, if you're talking to kids about being gay or not gay, you're talking about sexual preferences. And my teachers didn't talk about that. I mean, we had our health class and I'm trying to remember if that was junior high or high school or whatever. He talked about like the reproductive system or whatever, but I don't remember like a teacher ever having a conversation with me about if I prefer penis or vagina, or if I find men or women attractive. Like, that's just why are teachers having this conversation? Why are they allowed to have those conversations? Why isn't their job just to teach? Like, a curriculum that's outlined by the state at this point. It's supposed to go to the states because Trump wanted to get rid of the federal government. But yeah, a curriculum that's outlined, and that's all that their job is to do. And if they do anything else in that, they should lose their job. If they go off curriculum, and I'm sorry, when you're talking the sexuality of a child, you're going off curriculum. I mean, they just lose their job. There's no reason for a teacher to have those conversations with a student whatsoever. We can make arguments that a counselor could have that conversation. But you got to be careful with that too. That counselor needs to not be suggesting it, which it feels like it's almost being suggested to kids, like that that's okay and that should be all right with it and all that stuff, which I don't know. That's just odd to me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and it's nerve-wracking to me. I don't like that the schools are going against parents or behind parents' back. I don't like it. Shouldn't happen. Parents are still supposed to have rights, and I don't know where they start saying that they shouldn't have rights. That's the part I don't understand. And I seen, or what was it that I was talking about? They said, give them a chance. Oh, I think it was on my podcast. They said, well, give them a chance to let the kids, let's see how they do when they're 16, 17 to make these decisions. It's like, no. Those decisions should be left to the parents. If the parents decide that their kids can go make some decisions for their own selves, then that's fine. Then that's the parents making that decision. But the school never should be making that decision. And that was absolutely on my podcast. That was a conversation I had, I believe, with a school teacher, a writing teacher, English teacher, whatever it was. And yeah, he felt like, well, why not let these kids, no, that's up to the parents to decide. You don't know shit when you're with a kid and a student at school as much as the parents know their kids. It's their kids. They should know better, and they should have some say in what's going on with the kids until they're an adult. I mean, that's just, and this is the thing that kills me. I don't know if you guys noticed, but DeWine just signed a bill now that you can't get a driver's license under the age of 21 until you take a driving class. I think a 50-hour course, I think it has to be too. So you have to take a driving course for 50 hours to become a driver now. This is like they're rolling back, saying at 18 you can't make decisions, or you're not smart enough, or you can't do things that you're supposed to do. Tobacco, you used to be able to buy cigarettes at 18. All of a sudden now it's 21. So all these decisions are when you're older. They're starting to make it, okay, well, let's wait till they get older. Let's wait till they get older. Let's wait till they get older. But yet, we'll start letting them do these other decisions, life-changing, but that makes no sense. Why in the world? It's almost like, it's like the devil's in charge. It's like the devil is in charge and Satan is running the game and everybody's jumping on board with it. And I hate to say something like that, but it almost seems like he's possessed some people, and they start making rules, and those rules go against the father. They go against the mother, and go against and that's just the way it seems. I mean, everything is gamed towards breaking up a family unit and giving the parents no rights if they do stay together. And that's just insane. But yet, you can't drink till you're 21. You can't make a decision about drinking until you're 21. You're not mature enough yet. You can't drive without a class until you're 21 in Ohio. You're not mature enough yet. You're not mature enough to do that. You're not mature enough to do that. You can't decide if you want to smoke cigarettes until you're 21. You're not mature enough yet. You're not old enough to make the decision whether or not you want tobacco in your life. Now, mind you, there's no rules against the vape pens, though. They could have the vape pens all day long. And the teacher that was here, the one that was talking about that, he said their biggest problem in school is vape pens. Weed vape pens, too, by the way. Marijuana vape pens. So we're teaching our society that weed is good and cigarette tobacco is the worst thing you could possibly do. Weed is the best thing you could possibly do. That's what we're teaching our society, which is absolutely insane. It's mind altering. And quite frankly, it does make you a little lazy. I mean, some people it makes lazy. I mean, I guess my mom, I don't know. I can't say that. I don't even want to say that because that's not even true. My mom, when she would smoke, she'd get up, clean, cook, freaking cut the grass, weed the garden, give the dog a bath, whatever. She just, once she gets going, she's going. But me, it does, because if I smoked that stuff, it's been a long time. But when I did, I always wanted to go to sleep. I think it was because I didn't like the buzz. But at any rate, it definitely feels like Satan's in charge. That's how it feels. It feels like Satan's in charge. Satan is running a gamut. He's convincing you that your parents shouldn't have any say in anything you do. He's convincing you that being gay is normal and okay. Nothing wrong with it. He's convincing you that you should try it. That's what he's convincing you of, quite frankly. Saying it's normal and okay, I guess we can, I mean, we can. I mean, it even in religious teachings, it's a sin. Also, so is, drinking and smoking and murder and rape and not honoring your parents, and all those things are all sins. So, I mean, I don't know that one sin is considered worse than the other when it comes to, I mean, I know we morally sit on a ground where we think one is worse than the other, but I mean, I think when you're looking in God's eye, I think they're all the same. But at any rate, they're pushing these narratives out 24/7. It's like, let's roll with it. Let's teach these kids that this is all, and give them the power to make those decisions, but take away their power to drink, or take their power away to smoke a cigarette, or take their power away to drive. Like, what kind of sense does this make? I mean, it's just, I mean, somehow it should make sense. I mean, somewhere along the way, some of this should make sense. I just don't understand it. Parents are losing their rights, and that's a big thing that's been going on that everybody's been, fighting about when it comes to transitioning or transgender kids. They've been losing their rights. It makes me wonder if there's other things that they lose their rights on. I mean, that's the thing that's hitting the news. But what else are, these schools allowing to go on without telling parents, or without running past parents, or whatever you want to call it? I mean, it's just, you got to wonder. I mean, why in the world would anything be allowed when you're the parent? You're the parent. You're supposed to be able to decide on your kid's fate. That's just it. Not their fate, but their what's taught to them. What's what's taught to them, basically. Like, and telling them what's okay and what's not. I mean, that would be, it's funny because they were talking about wanting to introduce Christianity, like having it as an option in the schools, like you could take classes on it. Hell no. Can't have it. No way. Impossible. Won't allow it. Not happening. No way. Can't do it. No how. They freaked out. They lost their mind over it. And yet, while losing their mind over it, you want to allow them to, like, do everything else. You know what I mean? Anything else is okay, Smoking weed, that's a good thing. That's what they try to tell everybody. It's smoking pot's not good for you. Oh, well. No, and the sooner you figure out that smoking pot is not good for you, the better off this country will be. Because smoking pot is fun. It's mind altering. It's not the way your mind is wired, period. That's just the way it is. Your mind is not wired that way. You're putting chemicals that adjust the way you think, feel, anything else. Now, if you're talking pain meds or things like that, maybe they do work. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know. But I'm talking about the young kids that are just smoking pot, that are saying, oh, it's great for you. It's not great for you. It's not. It's not going to be great for you. It's not going to stay great for you. It's not going to be it. In fact, there was studies that they don't talk about these days, but there was studies done in the 80s where if a teenager or just let's just say a 10-year-old, if a 10-year-old were to smoke marijuana, mentally he would get stuck, like maturity, I should say, at 10 years old. If he started smoking pot regularly at 14, his maturity level would get stuck at 14. These are true statements that they did a study on. And I mean, this was actually that they used to teach it that way. Now you can't say anything bad against marijuana. It's the greatest thing in the world. It's amazing. It's blah, 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 blah. You know, does it have its uses? Sure, it might. It might have its uses. It may definitely. I mean, I've got a friend that had cancer in the 80s, and they gave him marijuana when he was going through it, and that was mostly to get, I think it was for pain and to get get him to be able to eat back then, because it was bad. Back then you would go in the hospital and you wouldn't come out for a long time. And he dealt with that as a kid. So, yeah, does it have its uses? Yeah, probably does. You know, do mushrooms and psychedelics have their uses? Probably. But if you're just doing mushrooms to trip balls one night when you go to play cornhole, yeah, that's just, you're fucking up your head. You shouldn't be messing with it. That's my opinion. Do with it what you want, but that's my opinion. As far as I'm concerned, it's ridiculous. But it doesn't mean like that's for medical uses, like when they're talking this ketamine and things that they're using and for PTSD and stuff. Yeah, maybe it does work. It's sounds like it does. I definitely said I seen a difference in my mother, but my mother's not just eating mushrooms and hanging out, partying, drinking, carrying on. Like, it's what she did was a ritualistic thing that you would never do as a recreational, type deal. I'm not saying that, you're an evil person if you did that. I'm not saying that. Everybody is entitled to go have some fun. I mean, you drink, you do whatever. What I'm saying is this, it's great for you thing has to go away. This, everything that was bad for you is great for you now. Except drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes. The two things that were okay 50 years ago are the two things that are horrible for you now. But the things that were put on schedules because they were horrible, like in the 60s and 50s, that were horrific, and you knew they were horrific. There's a big difference between doing a drug and thinking it's helping you and it's the greatest thing, and doing a drug and knowing that it is not, it's not good for you, or that you're doing something wrong. I mean, there's a big difference in your mentality going into it. You know what I mean? It just makes for a very big difference. And nobody wants to discuss that. They just always like, oh, it's great for you. This is good for you. That's good for you. Alcohol bad. Alcohol bad. And now everybody's driving around stoned out of their mind. And I don't know what you do about that. We've talked about that on here before too. Because you could, alcohol, you could prove whether or not they're drinking, but weed, there's no test for weed that the police officer can do on the side of the road. So now everybody thinks it's okay. They smoke it constantly while driving, clearly because you smell it everywhere you go. You smell it rolling out the windows. You can smell it absolutely everywhere. It's to the point where when you don't smell it, you're like, oh, okay, nobody's smoking weed. That's weird. I mean, that's how crazy it is. That's the difference between then and now. I mean, I don't remember ever, like, it was a big deal to smell weed at one time. Like it was not, I'm not saying a big deal. That might be the wrong word. I'm trying to think of what the word would be for that, but it was It wasn't normal. I know that. You didn't, yeah, you just didn't smell it ever. And now that's all you smell. That's everywhere you go, you smell it. It doesn't matter where. Maybe might be different in the country. I don't live in a country, but if you're out in the suburbs, you still smell it. You're smelling it in the suburbs, you're smelling it in the cities, you're smelling it. I mean, everywhere you go, you smell it. You walk into a restaurant, you smell it. It's really weird. Like it's a strong stance from 50 years ago. I mean, 50 years ago, you did it. People were doing it. I'm not saying they weren't, but you knew it was wrong. You know, it's like Coke now. You know when you do it, you know it's wrong. At least you know it's wrong when you're doing it. That's how pot used to be. Now they think that they're doing something that there's no harm, no foul. And it's just not true. There is some harm. There is some foul. Is it that big of a deal? No, not really. But you should still know that there's a harm, there's a foul. You should still know that. That should be part of the like decision and process of making. And it causes people to not be with or deal with their own emotions and things like that. Whether you like it or not, that's what it does. I mean, you look at like Theo Vaughn is a perfect example. We've seen him. I don't know what's going on with him. He looks like he's crashing out right now. He did some thing in New York for a Netflix special, and I guess it went bad. I don't know if he's relapsing or what exactly is going on with him, but he's a perfect example. He's talked about it many times where he doesn't feel like he's almost embarrassed of himself or something. It sounds like I think he's even said he's embarrassed of himself at different times. And it's first of all, he shouldn't. I mean, that's absolutely insane because for one of the funnier people that ever has blessed us. Two, just a good human being. Clearly you could see he's a good human being all the way across the board. But he's definitely got some demons. And a lot of it sounds like it comes from his childhood and things like that. It's like, wait, a lot of us didn't have great childhoods. Theo Vaughn needs to realize that. I mean, and people have this like, and that might be a social media thing. It could be possible. But you see people and you think, oh, well, they have this great life. Not everybody has a great life. It's not true. In fact, there's very few that have a great life. You see people with money and they can do the things they want to do. They have problems too, just like us. They have different problems. You know what I mean? They're certainly different. But they're not. They all have problems. Everybody has problems. Absolutely, whoever you are, you have problems. And people that grow up, nobody grew up in this perfect world that, Charlie Kirk was trying to sell you of a 50s society where everything was absolutely perfect. But men were trying to obtain it. They were attempting to obtain it. Women were trying to obtain that. That's what they wanted. They had an idea of what they wanted. They were aiming for it. They were aiming for that sitcom life, Leave It to Beaver style life. That's what they were looking for. They were aiming for it. Did they fall? Sure, a little bit. They probably fell short. And then other things happen. There's things where if I've seen where Theo Vaughn, I think like he said his father had to sell their business because they were trying to get I can't remember, some sort of surgery for his sister or something like that. So, I mean, any of the financial struggles they had were for that reason. And, I'm not saying he blames them for it, but he feels like, to me, he should be proud of that. That he should be proud that he came through what he did for his sister. Like they did that for his sister. Now, there's an argument to be made, and I can understand where he comes from that, it shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't lose everything because your sister needed a surgery. I understand it. I do understand it. But your dad, as a man, did what he had to do. And it wasn't the greatest thing. It didn't end up giving you the greatest life, but I mean, you've managed to come up just fine, Who knows? If you had a better life, maybe we don't even get Theo Vaughn. You know what I mean? Maybe he's the one who ends up being, homeless, or he's the one that ends up being a factory worker instead of what he's doing. And I mean, that would be a shame because we love Theo Vaughn. He's done a lot to bring mental health awareness to, he's been somebody that people can look at and go, I feel that way too. And whether Theo Vaughn knows it or not, there's an abundance of people that feel that way. Not like just not like, I don't know how to explain, like maybe they don't have the same problems he had. I'm not saying that there's an abundance of people that grew up exactly like Theo Vaughn. What I am saying is that there's an abundance of people who feel like things are okay now because they've heard from Theo Vaughn. There's an abundance of people doing that. And that's a gift that you can't beat that. That's a gift that, he's given to the world that makes people feel a little better, me included. I mean, a lot of times I don't feel like I had the best childhood. That's for sure. I didn't have money and all that stuff, but I didn't feel like it was a bad childhood because, like, where I grew up, like in South Lorraine, like the rich people in my neighborhood worked at Ford and the steel mill. That was it. Like, that was the rich people to me growing up. I mean, they just had jobs basically. So, I mean, if you were on the lower end of that, it didn't feel that bad. I mean, I didn't grow up in an area where, everybody's dad was, a banker or a Ford or a, I almost said Ford worker. See, it's still ingrained in me from my childhood. But I didn't grow up in an area where, people's dads were bankers and athletes or business owners. That's not the area I grew up in. And so it wasn't all that bad. I mean, it was just a normal child. We were all the same. Even if you worked at Ford, like, yeah, you had nicer clothes and stuff. Your parents had a new car. But that kind of was it. Everything else was about the same. You just had nicer clothes and a car. Who cares? We all were eating JoJo's, with our dinners. We were all going to the same schools. We were all playing in the same parks, playing in the same woods, driving 50s and mini bikes. And we all had the same opportunity coming up. And that didn't even matter who you were, what color you were. We all had the same, everybody had the same opportunity. It didn't matter how poor you were or how broke. But although, like I said, we were in an area where there wasn't a big discrepancy. Like back then when I was a kid, I'm trying to think like maybe what the wage, like you might have been like, everybody in the city probably was making under 40,000. I mean, if there was somebody making over that, it was few and far between. Those people were the big shots somewhere else that we never seen. And there was so few of them that they had to hang out with us anyways if they wanted to, be around people, because there wasn't an abundance of just loaded people. I mean, there wasn't an area. There was an area, on one side of town where maybe they had a little more money, but I mean, all in all, the community was just what it was. We were either, you were either welfare poor or Ford worker poor, I mean, not to say you weren't poor if you worked at Ford. I'm not saying that, but you weren't rich by any means. I mean, unless you went after something. But either way, the point is that I grew up feeling poor. I grew up dealing with that whole, whatever you want to call it, that whole like, oh, my childhood wasn't that great and blah, 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 blah. And I had some issues. I was in and out of the juvenile system when I was a kid, detention homes and court-run school programs and all these different things because I was unhappy with the way things were. But I balanced out pretty good. I don't feel like, once I became an adult and started being able to take care of myself and make my own decisions and change things, I balanced out pretty well. But I never did drugs or anything. So I wonder if Theo Vaughn's drug use has caused him more problems coming to grips with where he's at. And I don't know. I'm not obviously not a therapist or anything. I just wonder. I just don't know, because I don't know what causes. I don't understand where he doesn't look at himself and go, "Wow, I've done something fantastic. I've done great." I mean, I don't understand where that comes from. And then he's not the only. There's other people that, like the comedian that hung himself, years ago. Who was that? Was that Robin Williams? Is that who it was? I mean, yeah, I think it was Robin Williams. Like, just, I mean, you look at him, you go, so funny and so comedic, and like everybody always on, and Theo's kind of like that, Theo's got a humor that it's a high intelligence humor that, like, he knows how to say some off the wall shit that doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the topic, but yet when you hear it, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Like it like you kind of get what he's saying, even though it's like so off the wall, so off topic, so bizarre. But he has an intelligence that knows how to bring that in and make that humor kick. And I don't see how he doesn't understand that. That's just me. But I'm just, because I seen, you've seen it. I don't know if anybody else has seen it or not yet, but he's on stage and he's like, things aren't going real well while he's doing this Netflix special. And he tells somebody in the audience, "It's been a long month. I'm just trying not to kill myself." Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's not, like, what the hell? Like, where is that coming from? I mean, your life should be good. I mean, you're writing your own checks. You're doing something that you enjoy doing, or at least it seems like you enjoy doing. You're loved by everybody. There's nobody that doesn't like Theo Vaughn. He's not a left-right. He's not a political spectrum at all. He's not nothing. He's literally just somebody that can be loved by everyone. There's nobody who doesn't watch him and just love him. And yet that's not enough. He's still like feeling the way he's feeling. Like it's sad for one, but it's also it's scary. That's the word for it, is scary. That somebody could have that much success, be that loved, and not see it right in front of them. That's odd to me. That's very odd to me. And he seems like he could be a good father if he ever did have kids. I know he doesn't have any, and he's talked about it. Seems like he'd be a good father if he ever did have them. And so he should run that first, and then try and look at his life, because marriage and parents, I'm with Charlie Kirk on that. It changes who you are. It's your outcome on life with that is just tenfold different than what you're looking at life when you're single and have no kids. So I mean that might make a big difference for him. But I mean, I'm not saying go to the strip club tonight and take some girl home. I'm not saying that. I'm saying find a nice girl and realize that she likes you for you, because that's his problem, because he hates himself, so he thinks that other people hate him too, or something's wrong with them if they like him, which is, I mean, that's them are his words, the kind of stuff he said when he's talking on the show. I don't know if you guys listen to Theo Vaughn or not, but yeah, he's going through it right now, it seems like, and I wish him the best, because I hope it doesn't last long, and I hope everything goes well for him. But I don't know. I just wanted to get on here and get a quick podcast out, just because it's been like 12 days. Like I said, my wife was out of town. My daughter's getting married. I'm supposed to write I'm supposed to write a speech to give to my daughter, or to say there while I'm there. And the problem is, when I get up, half the room's already pissed off, because it's the divorce thing. So it's like, I don't know what to say. I don't want to go too long. I don't want to overpower the room that night. I don't want to I want to do something grand, but I don't want to do something grand, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. But yeah, that's how I feel. Like, I want to do something grand. I want to say something so enlightening and amazing. But at the same time, I don't want to irritate everybody and ruin anybody's night. And definitely don't want to ruin the wedding. So I don't know where to come up with this balance. Because typically I like to go big or go home. But I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to screw things up with that whole situation. And maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But I've only got about 4 days to get that done. But Amanda will be home tonight, so I'll really be concentrating on that for the next 4 days. Hopefully. I pray. And I mean, I can talk. Obviously, I can talk. There's a part of me that wants to just stand up and talk, but I got to at least have myself a guidance of where I want to head with it and where I want to, because if I don't, who knows where I'll end up off on a tangent or who knows? I really don't. I'm not going to do that. So I definitely want to prepare it, make sure it's set up right. It's a lot of pressure for me, oddly enough. This, I can go on here and talk to you guys. No big deal. Standing up at her wedding to give a little speech or something, or whatever you want to call it, where the father has to talk, that's a big deal to me. Like that's scary. That's far more scary than going on the podcast. I'll tell you that much. Way more scary. But I don't know why. It just is. It is what it is, I guess. I'm sure most fathers feel the same way. But that being said, I'm going to get off here. We'll be here on Thursday at 1:00. We're going to go live Thursday at 1:00, and we're going to do that with Jacqueline Bradley. If you want to look her up before we go on there, she's got some music. She just put out a new song, like, I forget, is it like 85 or something, or Love Me Like It's 85? I forget what it is. But we'll have that on there. We'll have her on there, and she's got some Lorraine hometown roots, and her dad's actually the mayor of Lorraine now, but she grew up in Lorraine, and she's been all over. She was on all kinds of shows. She's been on overseas. She's just a worldly woman, and I think she's going to be very interesting to talk to. So with all that, I'm going to get out of here. And sorry for not getting to you this week, but like I said, I was trying to hold it down while my wife was in Florida. So, all right. Love you guys. Peace.
Madhouse bar talk, where the drinks stay spitting. Views going wild like a monkey gone rogue, running his own lane in a circus of smoke. Tito hit the eject, dipped out the scene. Jimmy steered the chaos, kept it lean.